we might finally be getting some extra backstory on Little James and Thaddeus in The Chosen Season 5. This is very exciting news. These two characters have been kind of quieter and a little bit more in the background, yet still being a part of the group and having a big influence on the storyline in The Chosen, but it seems that we'll finally get some flashbacks to maybe some of their past life or their first interactions with Jesus. I've also got to look for you today into a scene with a Roman graveyard between Jesus and the disciples, which should be very interesting, and some other cool stuff that we're going to look at today. So, without further ado, hello, my name is Eli. Welcome back to Against the Current, a The Chosen podcast, and let's go ahead and roll that intro. First up, let's look at this video from director Dallas Jenkins. We can see here we're in this kind of main courtyard area in Jerusalem, and we got some Pharisees here. We've got Shmuel and a few of the other ones. This could be a pickup, after the big scene with Jesus and the Pharisees where they're debating in the temple, and Jesus asked the question of, did John's baptism come from man or God? When the Pharisees ask him, did your powers come from God or man? And Jesus kind of tries to trap them. Maybe this is a pickup after that scene or the aftermath of them discussing what to do with Jesus and how to kind of trick him and trap him. Something like that. This scene is going to be good. It's going to be interesting to see the discussions between Jesus and the Pharisees this season. There's a lot of heated debates and discussions that Jesus and the Pharisees get into in Passion Week. So it's going to be very, very intense to see all of those unfold on screen in The Chosen Season 5. But next up, let's check out this clip from director Dallas Jenkins right here. So as you can see here, we're in a bit of a Roman graveyard, I guess. There's helmets hung up on branches and sticks, and it's pretty much in ruins, and there's a lot of destruction here in this scene, and a lot of Roman soldiers standing by. Someone gives out a loud shout. They shout something. I can't quite make out what they're saying, but we can see all the way back in the background Jesus and his disciples all walking up and entering this scene. We also have this picture right here of this Roman soldier sitting in this field. We also have this picture from Adam Drake. You can see a sword stabbed in the ground and a Roman soldier's helmet on top of it. Now, what this looks like to me is it could possibly be a necropolis, which was the Roman version of a burial ground. They were not allowed to bury bodies inside of the city, so along other cities and along the road and the street, they take bodies out and they'd put them in a burial ground, burn them, cremate them, and make sure to preserve their bodies and bury them in a correct way, because they believed that the afterlife only started after the body was properly laid to rest. And this is possibly what this is here and why there's so much smoke and fire. Now, the question of which Roman soldier died to instigate this funeral beats me. I really hope it's not one of our favorites and some of our closer people, but maybe Jesus and the disciples just go to visit this funeral so Jesus can preach. I don't know, but this is definitely going to be super interesting to see. If you have any thoughts on what this scene is going to be or what you think about this, be sure to let me know down below in the comments. But let's move on to day 25 with this clip from Dallas Jenkins. So, this is very interesting because you can see in kind of the back row there, we've got Little James singing in this choir. Now, as we know before, Little James was on his way to visit his choir. He's a singer. He was part of a group of singers, as we know, before he came to Jesus. And this could possibly be a flashback to when Little James first encountered Jesus, his first encounter with Jesus and how they met and how Jesus called him. This is going to be maybe even in the same episode as we get Thaddeus' backstory, as we'll talk about in a second. Maybe in a single episode we'll get Little James and Thaddeus' backstories back to back, which is very cool and very exciting. I'd love to see more of these characters and more of their lore. Very, very exciting, and this scene is going to be pretty interesting. But without further ado, let's move on to the last day of filming in Utah, day 26. This week was a little bit of a shorter week because they, stopped filming in Utah. And this is the last day they filmed there, and then they took a 2-week break. But let's go ahead and check out this final clip from director Dallas Jenkins. Now, this clip is very, very exciting because this is if you don't know, latrine, a first century public bathroom. And I promise you there's a good reason why I'm excited about it. It is where we know that Thaddeus first met Jesus. As we mentioned in season 1, episode 5, the wedding gift, Thaddeus mentions that he met Jesus while building a public bathroom. That is where Jesus called it. So, this is very exciting because that means that even possibly in the same episode, we'll get the flashback to when Little James first met Jesus and when Thaddeus first met Jesus. So that is super duper exciting. I can't wait to see that. That's going to be super fun, and we get just some more backstory on these two characters that we already love, because they're, I believe, the only two that we haven't seen their calling yet. So that'll be exciting, and it'll add a little bit more weight and depth to their characters this season. Can't wait to see more of them in The Chosen Season 5. So there you have it. Like I said, this filming week was a little bit shorter. We didn't get as much, but still some very interesting stuff. I can't wait to see what's going on with this necropolis, the Roman graveyard, and the latrine, and Little James and Thaddeus' backstories. Super exciting stuff. Be sure to let me know what you think about all of this down below in the comments. I want to hear your thoughts, and I want to engage with you guys in this awesome Chosen community that we all get to be a part of. And please subscribe to Against the Current A, the Chosen podcast if you haven't already, to stay updated on everything happening in the Chosen community. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Binge Jesus.